You see the notification. You know exactly who sent it. And for some reason you don't want to answer. Not because you hate them, not because you're angry. You just don't have the energy. But now you feel guilty. So you reply. And somehow, you've just given someone else control over your attention. We live in a world where being reachable has quietly become a social obligation. You're expected to answer quickly, reply quickly, react quickly. And when you don't, people start asking questions. Are you okay? Why are you ignoring me? Did I do something? So eventually, you learn to stay available, even when you don't want to be. And that's the strange part. You can be sitting alone in your room, completely silent, with nobody physically around you, and still feel like you're surrounded by people. Because your phone keeps the door open. One message, one notification, one mention, one little vibration, and suddenly your mind is somewhere else. This is why some people aren't actually tired of people. They're tired of being accessible to people all the time, because availability sounds harmless. But constant availability comes with a hidden cost, your attention. Every time you interrupt what you're doing to check a message, your brain has to shift gears. Then you shift back. Then another notification arrives. And slowly, your mind becomes trained to expect interruption. You stop entering deep thought. You stop sitting with boredom. You stop letting your mind wander long enough to discover something original. You're physically alone. But mentally, you're still answering everyone. And maybe that's why silence feels so powerful now. Because silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the absence of demands. For a few minutes, nobody needs anything from you. Nobody is waiting for a reply. Nobody is asking where you are. Nobody is pulling your attention in another direction. And in that space, something strange begins to happen. You start hearing your own thoughts again. That is where disappearing becomes interesting. Because disappearing isn't always running away from people. Sometimes it's running back to yourself. And the more connected the world becomes, the more valuable that ability might become. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't actually need to be available to everyone. You just got used to acting like you do. We've confused accessibility with kindness. We think replying instantly means we care more. We think being constantly available makes us a better friend, partner, coworker, or person. But sometimes, it just makes us exhausted. And exhaustion changes the way you experience everything. You become impatient, distracted, mentally crowded. You start resenting conversations you once enjoyed, not because the people changed, because you never gave yourself enough space to recover from them. That's why disappearing can be powerful, not the dramatic kind. You don't need to delete every social app and vanish into the mountains. Sometimes disappearing simply means not answering immediately, putting your phone down without explaining yourself, going somewhere without posting it, having a few hours where nobody knows what you're doing, and more importantly, not feeling guilty about it, because there's something incredibly freeing about realizing that someone can send you a message, and you can let it sit there, not because you're trying to punish them, but because your attention belongs to you too. And this is where being unreachable becomes a kind of flex, not because you're important enough to ignore everyone, but because you're secure enough to not need constant access to everyone. In a world where people document everything, you don't have to. In a world where everyone is constantly available, you can choose not to be. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes a form of independence. And maybe that's what disappearing really means. Not abandoning your life, not becoming antisocial, not cutting everyone off, just creating a small part of your life that belongs entirely to you. Because when you're available to everyone, all the time, eventually you become unavailable to yourself. So disappear sometimes. Let the messages wait. Let the notifications pile up. Let the world wonder where you went. You aren't disappearing from the world. You're reappearing to yourself.